Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. When making waqf on the last word of each of the verses of Surah Al-Ḍuḥā, verses 1 to 8, care must be taken to ensure that a prolonged mud is not carried out. When making waqf, the mud which applies is al-maddul asli, and that is only lengthened to the duration of one alif. Hence, to recite in this manner will be incorrect. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. Note here, too much lengthening was done. This is incorrect. مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. The pronunciation of the letter Qaf must be done with clarity. The letter Dal must be pronounced purely and not wadda'aka. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. Care must be taken to ensure that incorrect qalqalah is not carried out on each of the two lam sakinah in this verse. Also, the ra on the word walal akhiratu must be pronounced sufficiently full mouth. Quite often, this is not emphasized sufficiently and clearly, and quite often it is not pronounced sufficiently full mouth. This is also the case on the word khayrul, where the ra must also be pronounced sufficiently full mouth. وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. When reciting the word yu'tika, care must be taken to ensure that the pronunciation of ta is pure. Some pupils here add a waw sound to the letter ta and recite yu'tika. This is incorrect. The correct pronunciation is yu'tika. On the last word of this verse, the ra sakinah will be pronounced full mouth. However, care must be taken to ensure that the letter ta before the ra sakinah is not changed into ta. Hence, to recite fatarda, this will be incorrect. The correct pronunciation is fatarda. أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. Qalqalah must not be carried out on mim sakinah. Hence, to recite alam will be incorrect. When carrying out qalqalah on the dal sakinah of yajidka, care must be taken to ensure that the dal is not vowelized, i.e., a fatha sound is not created on the letter dal. Hence, to recite yajidka will be incorrect. The correct pronunciation is yajidka. ووجدك ضالا فهدى. Al-Maddul Lazim will occur on the word ضالا. Hence, lengthening to the duration of 5 alifs will take place. Care must be taken to ensure that the mud is sufficiently lengthened. To ensure that the lengthening is done correctly and sufficiently, use of the fingers is highly advised. Also on the same word, the letter ضاد and letter lam must be joined clearly in a manner where the joining is heard clearly. Quite often, some pupils do not join sufficiently clearly and they recite وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًا فَهَدَى. Joining must occur clearly as follows: وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًا فَهَدَى, in a manner where no doubt remains as to whether or not the joining has occurred. وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. When reciting the word فَأَغْنَى, qalqalah must not be carried out on the letter ghain. Hence, to recite فَأَغْنَى, this will be incorrect. Also, the letter ghain is pronounced full mouth. This must be borne in mind. Note, quite often pupils become confused and mix up verses 7 and 8. So after reciting verse number 6, some pupils miss out verse number 7 and go on to verse number 8. When memorizing and revising, care must be taken to ensure that these two verses are revised sufficiently and thoroughly, and when reciting the surah, one must be concentrated to ensure this error does not occur. فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. Qalqalah will occur on qaf sakina. Also, qaf will be pronounced full mouth. However, the letter before the qaf, which is ta, that must not be pronounced full mouth. Hence, to recite taqo will be incorrect. Similarly, ra sakina is pronounced full mouth. However, the letter before, which is ha, must not be pronounced full mouth. Hence, to recite in this manner will be incorrect. فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. As in this manner, both the ta and the ha are pronounced full mouth. The correct pronunciation is فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. Similar to verses 7 and 8, children sometimes also become confused and mix up verses 9 and 10. Concentration is required when revising and also when reciting these two verses. وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. When reciting this verse, each of the kasrah on verse number 11 must be pronounced fully and flatly. Hence, to recite بِنِعْمَةِ will be incorrect. The correct pronunciation is بِنِعْمَةِ. Similar also applies to رَبِّكَ. To say رَبِّكَ is incorrect. And finally, فَحَدِّثْ, to recite that as فَحَدِّثْ will be incorrect.